Last year, I reviewed the Nothing Ear 1 and proceeded to not publish the video. It was a fine product, but I just wasn't too impressed by it, and there wasn't anything that new. It was a relatively basic pair of earbuds that anyone could go out and buy, and probably anyone could go out and manufacture. The Nothing Phone was the more interesting product from a startup company that hasn't had any experience of developing electronics, save for the experience at OnePlus. If you don't know the background of Nothing, it's Carl Pei splitting off from OnePlus and creating his own company. It's a compelling story, but the earbuds themselves weren't that compelling. Slightly more compelling are the Nothing Ear 2, the sequels to the original pair, which has a couple additional features, and many people have said are the closest competitors to the Pixel Buds Pro, which is an interesting comparison. So I decided to give them a try and see whether they were actually worth replacing my Pixel Buds Pro with. Let's talk about it. This is InnoIso, and this is the Nothing Ear 2 review. First of all, I just want to comment that the name of the Nothing Ear 2 was kind of ridiculous. I mean, yes, I know they're trying to sound different, but I'm fine with buds as being the primary name for any sort of wireless earbuds, and so therefore I'm going to call these the Nothing Buds 2. The case itself is unique, but not really all that practical. I would say it's more form over function. It's pretty cool that you can see inside it and instantly see the buds themselves, along with a relatively pseudo-modern but also kind of retro tech design. Transparent plastic hasn't been the norm for a good 20 years, although some folks have been bringing it back. It draws my attention or my memory back to the Game Boy that I used to have that was a clear or a semi-opaque purple color. But despite the nostalgia, it really doesn't make practical sense, as I mentioned. The case itself is substantially larger than it has to be. See, the way that they orient the buds alongside the battery underneath means that there is a substantial amount of empty volume that is not taken up by anything. Compare that to any other modern pair of earbuds, and what you'll have is a very tightly compact and well-built set of earbuds in a well-built case. This, on the other hand, is not that. The case itself has a bunch of rattling points. It squeaks every time I move it around because the hinges are too small to actually hold the whole thing together. And while it looks pretty, you can just see how much extra space there is. So much so that I actually stored a ring inside this and some jewelry inside this at some point, and it fit with plenty of space remaining. Now, once you get inside, the buds themselves are also transparent. And their design is unique, but not too overwhelming. Like, only if you look closely do you see the transparency effect of the buds, while looking at them from a distance, they just look like a relatively normal pair of earbuds, maybe a clone of AirPods because of the stem design. That stem is squeezable just like the AirPods, which means that that's the primary control method of the Nothing Buds. They cannot be tapped, they cannot be swiped, instead you have to squeeze them. And the controls are relatively expectable or predictable to start. A single squeeze for play pause, double squeeze for fast forward or next track, and a triple squeeze for previous track. But then there are volume controls, which is nice to have. The volume controls are accessed by a double squeeze and then hold on either earbud, right for up, left for down. It kind of makes sense. And then finally, you squeeze and hold in order to switch between transparency mode and noise cancellation, which we'll get to in a few seconds. These controls are good, if not great. The downside for me is the fact that if my other hand is occupied, I cannot control both volumes, so I can only turn the volume up or down from a single earbud, whereas with the Pixel Buds Pro, I can swipe either direction in order to control the volume. Otherwise, the experience of using these buds is decent. Now, as far as the audio quality itself, I'd say that these are generally on par with most mid-range headphones that I've tried in the past. I'm not an audiophile, so if you want to see a more audiophile's take, you should go see my friend GameSky's review, which I'll link up in the top corner. But they're good. They're good quality earbuds that I find are relatively nice to listen to. but they don't have quite the same sort of noise isolation that a lot of other modern earbuds have. That reveals itself in the noise cancellation mode. Noise cancellation on a pair of $100 earbuds is pretty impressive. It's nice to have, though it's becoming more and more popular and common as time goes on. I don't think this is really all that comparable to, say, the Pixel Buds noise cancellation or even the Galaxy Buds 2's noise cancellation. If I wanted to basically isolate myself when I'm traveling on a bus or traveling on a train, I would prefer one of those pair of earbuds rather than these, since I still have a lot of sound pass through it, largely because of the fit itself. I've tried the other size ear tips to see if that changes the noise cancellation all that much, but unfortunately it didn't make a big difference. There's also audio pass-through mode as well, which functions a little bit better. I think it's not as loud as a lot of other earbuds, in that a lot of Android-based earbuds instead have like a constant whirring sound with noise or audio pass-through, which these don't quite have as much, similar to the AirPods Pro. But that being said, the audio pass-through mode is not as comparable to the AirPods Pro. I would actually say that the audio pass-through mode here is better than the Pixel Buds Pro, but I don't really use the feature nearly as much. Oh, by the way, another way that Nothing tries to differentiate themselves is through the audio feedback while you're controlling the earbuds. The little sound effects every single time you press a button. These are they try to be very techy in that they make very digital sound effects, similar to the notification sounds on the Nothing phone. It's cool at first, but then it quickly becomes annoying when you hear loud digital chirping sounds in your ears at random times, like when the battery's about to die. I'm fine with pings. I'm fine with soft notification noises. I don't need these weird digital sounds. As you turn on noise cancellation, it makes a boom sound as though you're in an isolated closed room. And when you turn on audio pass-through, you get a as though someone's whispering in your ear, which is kind of weird. The battery life I found was decent, if not incredible. I was getting a couple hours on the earbuds themselves and then a good day or two on the case, so I didn't find myself topping up all that much. The last feature that matters a lot to me is the automatic connection to Android devices. The Pixel Buds Pro, for example, have a newer version of the automatic connection where you can easily switch between devices anytime you play audio on a new device. So whether I'm listening to my Pixel 7 Pro or my Galaxy S23 Ultra or my Galaxy Tab, any one of them will activate and connect to my earbuds pretty seamlessly, the same way that AirPods Pro connect to Apple devices. These have a little bit more pedestrian sort of automatic connection. I do not notice them automatically switching as often. Instead, I have to reconnect them between devices. But thankfully, they will automatically connect. They use the older Pixel Buds feature that will still automatically connect to new devices, or at least pop up with notifications, even if they don't automatically switch. All in, I think the Nothing Ear 2 are a good alternative to the Pixel Buds Pro if you cannot afford a full pair of Pixel Buds Pro, but I would argue the same thing about the Galaxy Buds 2 or the Galaxy Buds Pro 2 as well. The majority of folks that I know that have an Android phone usually have a Galaxy-based phone, so they're probably just as well off getting a pair of Galaxy Buds rather than these, which I would probably take a pair of Galaxy Buds over these, the Pros or the 2s. That being said, I'm still impressed with Nothing's second pair of earbuds, and I'm excited to see what they have in the future. Thank you for watching InnoIso. I hope you liked this quick review. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments, get subscribed, and I will catch you in the next one. See you later.